Dave Chappelle has been warning us for years. Hollywood isn't all glitter and fame. Behind the bright lights, there's a dark truth that few want to see. Some celebrities trade their souls, chasing money and success, only to spend their lives filled with regret. Big names like Diddy, Usher, and Jay-Z reached incredible heights after those rumored deals. But now, it seems like karma is catching up, because sooner or later, the devil always comes to collect.
It's one thing to write it all off as weird sex stuff. But it's another thing when you look at it for what, in my opinion, I believe it actually is.
And what is it?
Demonic, ritualistic behaviors, humiliation rituals. Offerings to the devil.
We were just talking about that. Revelation 17. The mystery of Babylon. I don't think people really want to get into that when they talk about mystery Babylon and the abominations and the rituals, the SEX.
Warriors, most people brushed off the idea of selling your soul as nothing more than a wild metaphor, but the deeper you dig, the harder it becomes to dismiss it as just a joke. Sugi even suggested that Diddy might have had more protection than anyone knew, claiming he was a federal asset who somehow managed to dodge the consequences that took others down.
The selling of your body, all that stuff, mystery of Babylon, y'all.
Like, I want y'all to really think about what they were talking about. See, everybody was, the spreading of bodily fluids from one person to another, using one person as a receptacle, and then taking it from that person's body and then putting it and smearing it all over. Like these. If you go back and you look at Aleister Crowley and some of the,
I was just about to say, Aleister Crowley,
magic rituals that he was doing, it sounds no different than the stuff that we heard about Diddy doing. This is demon time.
That's demon time for real. Let's continue.
The SEX rituals taught by Aleister Crowley are the same stuff that we listen to on court record. He is worse than R. Kelly. But you know what, though? If you're a government asset, and you've been working on behalf of the feds all of this, Jay-Z, yeah, he wears the Aleister Crowley t-shirt.
Wow. I got dragged.
He had a line of his own clothing. Like, I want you to think about this.
I got dragged for bringing that to people's attention. They were like, oh, yeah, he's a conspiracy theorist because he said, I'm like, no, that's what he wore. And he was with Abramovich. Like, yeah, y'all got to, who you hang with is who you are.
I'm still trying to understand how people want to sit there and talk about me, and he's sitting there frontal lobe to frontal lobe with a known witch. And people don't question.
And the funny thing is
thou wilt. Yeah.
The funny thing is when you talk about witches, and I'm still not going to go in on this raccoon of a content creator who decided to, shout you out one minute and then try to drag you for going on a platform and saying, you said about witchcraft takes one to know one, and he just automatically, you a witch? So the thing is that's another smear.
The end. Then there's Dave Chappelle. Remember when he turned down $50 million right at the peak of his career? He later explained it was never just about the money. It was about keeping his sanity intact. He'd seen too much of what really goes on behind the curtain in that industry. That's exactly why Lil Flip, an artist who built his success independently, is now stepping forward to reveal how those deals actually play out.
Comment about how you was one of the few rappers that never sold their soul. What made you say that?
Because I know majority of these rappers. Yeah. I know what be going on behind the scenes. I know who not really in control. You know what I mean? I know the real. A lot of times people be blinded by what they see in these videos and on TV, but I just know I know what I know, man. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that ain't being righteous and they ain't keeping it infinity, because keeping it 100 ain't enough. That's a limit. You go with me, you got to keep it infinity. So it's just a lot of people, man, that's just, selling their soul and selling themselves short and distracted with the wrong things. So, it is what it is, man. This industry is a very evil industry. You know what I mean? Like it's very evil, man. So you got to really surround yourself with people that think like you or bigger than you. So it's a nice amount of, I ain't gonna even say nice. It's a lot of rappers that sold their soul and, they let money dictate everything they do. They value money more than they value humans. I ain't participating in no bullshit. If it ain't righteous, I don't want to be a part of it, man. I'm not gonna snake my people. I ain't gonna snake my people, and I can't sell my people out, and I ain't gonna sell myself out. Fame ain't that important, man, for me to just do anything. It's cool. I'm used to the attention.
Yeah, that's crazy for me to hear you say that, man. So rappers is really out here selling their soul for success. That's a real thing.
For sure. Yeah. Behind the scenes selling their soul or snaking somebody who deserves opportunity.
Joel Flip, the Houston legend who sold over 25 million albums without ever signing to a major label, revealed that he's been approached multiple times by people offering so-called spiritual cleansing, but these weren't pastors or preachers. The offers came from something far more sinister. He described them as demonic rituals masked as prayer, where they even wanted to bring their own spiritual guide into his home. Flip stood his ground and refused, knowing something about it wasn't right.
You ever been approached to do anything out of pocket?
I've been approached to have somebody come to my house and pray. And like, hey man, this guy, he's like he gets spirits out, and he wants to come and pray. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I want to continue to pray the way I've been praying. I don't know who he believe in and what he believe in, but he can't come in my house. So peace.
According to Lil Flip, most artists never make it far before the system swallows them whole. Record labels and managers prey on desperate talent, young, broke, and starving for recognition. They study these artists for months, mapping out every weakness until they know exactly what will make them say yes. By the time the deal shows up, it's already too late. Their pride and resistance have been stripped away. That's when the so-called gatekeepers step in. Artists like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar are rare exceptions, proof that you can reach the top without selling out to those forces. But the truth is, the industry doesn't want more of them. It thrives on rappers who glorify ignorance, violence, and excess because that's what sells, and more importantly, that's what keeps people distracted. Cole and Kendrick terrify the machine because they inspire thoughts of awareness and rebellion, and a conscious audience is the one thing the system fears most. Jaguar Wright wasn't the first to call the music industry the devil's playground, but she's one of the few who dares to say it openly. Especially now, when names like Diddy and Jay-Z are being linked to dark rituals and federal investigations. At this point, it's more than gossip, it's a pattern. Whether you see it as literal demons or just the spiritual decay of greed and ego, the result is the same. Artists step into the spotlight full of hope and leave it empty, hollow, and broken. Just look at Aaron Carter. His story says it all.
I want to verify that this is actually my GoFundMe page. There's been a lot of misdirection that I've had to do in order to protect myself from being the silence breaker for my brother, who is a rapist. And now they're after my life. My whole family is after my life. And they're setting me up. And Sony Records owes me $3.5 million, and they don't want to pay me, and it would be in their better interest, just like Michael told me. And Brad Paisley, who sued Sony Records for $10 million. They owe me money, and they're trying to kill me off. And I'm begging you and I'm pleading you, help me raise $100,000 as soon as I can so I can move to an undisclosed location where I'm safe. My realtor won't sell my house. They're all involved in this, and they're trying to keep me there. They had cops come and check for a rope in my garage saying I wanted to hang myself. So please trust what I'm saying.
We're getting a look at disturbing, never-before-seen photos of the bathroom where singer Aaron Carter was found dead last year. Carter's mother, Jane Schneck, posted the photos to her personal Facebook page on Wednesday, writing, quote, "Still trying to get a real investigation for the death of my son, Aaron Carter." On November 5th of last year, 34-year-old Carter was found dead in the bathtub of his Lancaster, California home. According to posts by his mother, quote, "The coroner wrote it off as an accidental drug overdose. They never investigated it as a possible crime scene because of his addiction past." One of the photos shows the bathtub where Carter was found filled with green water. Another shows what appears to be feces smeared across the bathroom floor. A towel and some clothing items can also be seen on the floor in the photos. In one social media post, Carter's mother writes, quote, "Why are the towels perfectly placed?" In others, she alleges Carter received multiple death threats before he died, saying many people were making his life miserable. She also calls on true crime host Nancy Grace for help in the investigation. And in her most recent post, Carter's mother writes, quote, "We want answers. We want justice. There are people who must be held accountable." She again writes that Lancaster, California investigators dismissed an investigation because of Carter's, quote, "mental illness and prescription drug issues."
Maybe that's what Dave Chappelle realized, long before anyone else, that the machine running Hollywood doesn't thrive on talent, it feeds on souls. He didn't give in, he walked away, and maybe that's why, years later, he's still one of the few who can stare straight into the camera and speak the truth without fear. The rituals, he hinted, aren't just rumors. One rapper, Lil Tony, even claimed in detail that his time in Hollywood led to a direct encounter with something truly sinister, the devil himself.
Wait, you had an encounter with the devil?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that. Can you like...
They booked me for a photo shoot. This is what made me start getting into God right before I got locked up again.
Yeah.
This is how I knew God was talking to me though. I was straddling the fence still on belief. This is why I was telling you I didn't know what to believe because I was getting into all the spirituality. I ain't know what to believe. And God sent me a real encounter, so I went up. I got booked for a photo shoot. They took me all the way up this mountain. I was on top of the mountain. We finished the photo shoot. They have OD cars. They got a 3-seater McLaren. They got a Ferrari. And I'm asking them like, how y'all get all this money? Like, how y'all do this? They like, we do demonic rituals. I'm laughing. I'm like, no, you don't, bro. I'm like, how you get this money? Don't put me on. I'm trying to get like y'all. Like, nah, we do demonic rituals. I say, so what type of demonic ritual? He say, the Illuminati never talk to you. I'm laughing. I'm still laughing at him like, bro, you playing game. Like, why y'all playing with me? Stop playing. Like, how y'all getting this money? He like, bro, no, for real. Leonardo DiCaprio do all the initiation. I'm like, what? I'm like, who is that? What is you talking about, gang? He was like, he giving me a list of people who all did it. I'm gonna keep it PG-13. He was basically saying either you let them peg you or you do oral. And my flight was finna take off. So they was like, man, your flight finna take off anyway. Let us just get you a hotel and you can come get some food out of our Korean barbecue. I'm like, at first I was like, nah. But then I ain't had no service to get downstairs. I mean, get down the hill.
Right.
So I'm telling them, take me down to the bottom of the mountain. When I'm not telling them this, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna let them take me to the Korean barbecue. Then when we get down there, I'm gonna just call me an Uber and go. So I tell them, like, take me down to a Korean barbecue. They're like, okay, Shmoo, good, okay, boom. The people who booked me left. After they leave, I'm in the car with the other dude that they called up to have a photo shoot with me or take pictures, because he come up and he like to take pictures with celebrities to make him look like he was rich or famous. I get in the car with him in a 3-seater McLaren. This man, as we going down, see, on the way up, we go all the way up, like in a swivel, like all the way around the mountain.
Yeah.
On the way down, we take a right. So he not going the same way that we came up. So I'm like, what the hell? So then that's what I try. I'm like, okay. I'm like, take me to go get some McDonald's, gang. I'm like, Shmuel, I want to go get some McDonald's. He said, we're not going to take you to get no McDonald's. We spent all this money to get you up here. This face change, gang. In front of me. You see Venom? Like,
yeah, like
Spider-Man?
Yeah, from Spider-Man.
Kind of like that. It wasn't like OD, like long, like the veins, OD long got his face. It was probably about this wide. Like, face change. I'm like, what the? Like, it's probably about like right here. Like, all I can say, bro, it was like, oh, kind of like the same.
However, not everyone chooses the same path. Some of the biggest stars in the world have long been surrounded by rumors of trading their souls for fame and fortune. One of those names often mentioned is Usher, who's been accused of questionable ties involving Justin Bieber and Diddy. According to Jaguar Wright, Usher and Bieber's early connection to Diddy wasn't as innocent as it looked. She claimed that someone had once warned Usher about Diddy's intentions toward Bieber, saying the situation was making people uneasy. Usher supposedly stepped in, took Justin under his wing, and vowed to protect him, but over time, things allegedly took a strange and unsettling turn.
Because I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious this shit is. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile in your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They're not seeing the victim. They're not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like. What kind of f***ing ass do you gotta be to take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be?
Jaguar Wright claimed that even after Usher was given temporary guardianship of Justin Bieber, he still introduced him to Diddy's inner circle, despite the earlier warnings and concerns. To her, that decision made everything seem even more suspicious. She questioned his judgment, saying, "Does that sound like a good guy?" and wondered why anyone would bring a young artist into an environment already surrounded by so many red flags.
Sure knew what was going to happen to any of those young children that he took to the Flavor Freak off. Is he a good guy? Especially considering what happened to him. Especially considering that he sat Howard Stern and Howard Stern said, "Would you send your kids to Puffy's Flavor Camp?" And his immediate response was, "Hell no!" So it's good enough for everybody else's kids, but it's not good enough for yours. Yours are just good enough to die in Lake Lanier with no real investigation. Got it? Like, these aren't good people!
All right, Jeff.
He's not good! He's a... And the simple fact that Justin Bieber literally made a public statement and said, "Usher asked me to do the Super Bowl with him and I turned it down."
Run for the hills.
Why would he turn it down? Who turns down the Super Bowl?
Jaguar Wright didn't hold back when linking her claims to the recent revelations about Diddy's past. She argued that for years, too many people chose to ignore what was happening, turning a blind eye to the warning signs. But now, she said, the truth is finally surfacing, and those who once looked the other way can't hide from it anymore.
In your life, it ain't nothing nobody can turn against. He tried to snitch. R. Kelly tried to snitch. That what really folded his ass up on time. You really tried to tell him, didn't you? Thank you, Slick, but you're going anyway.
Now, a lot of P. Diddy sympathizers are saying that the things that P. Diddy is doing was taught.
No,
from his predecessors.
P Diddy was taking that. See, 3 times.
Take that.
Let's go, Dennis. Let's go. Now they taking what he got. They want that, and that. And we'll take that, and we'll take that. We'll take that, and that. They taking everything.
And Jaguar isn't the only one sounding the alarm about the dark side of Hollywood. Actor Omar Gooding, the brother of Cuba Gooding Jr., who himself has faced serious allegations alongside Diddy, has also spoken out about just how twisted and corrupt the entertainment industry can be. According to Omar, Hollywood constantly tests you. The system watches to see how far you're willing to go, what lines you'll cross, and what makes you squirm. That's how they decide who to promote. He said actors often land a role, and then suddenly the script changes. Maybe it's a scene that feels wrong or something meant to embarrass you, but if you do it anyway, that's the moment they know you'll play their game. That's when the call comes.